Hello, welcome back to the Sports Centre YouTube channel. What's going on with VAR? Like, seriously, what the fuck are these guys doing now? It's already a mess. Don't get me wrong, there's some good stuff to come from VAR, but it's a mess. Given that, what are we, 5, 6, maybe 7 years down the line now when VAR introduced? There's a lot of clangers. There's a lot of clangers still happening. And now, to complicate things even more and throw more bloody spanners in the works, not like there's enough already, they're on about introducing, in potentially the 2026 World Cup, new rules where there's going to be no rebounds allowed from penalties that are given in open play. We'll come to in a minute. And the second one is VAR are now going to get involved with second yellow cards. But, here's a big but, is this not a good thing about the yellow cards? Now hear me out on this, because whilst I probably sit on the side of the fence that VAR does more good than bad. I think I do. Yeah, I do. But there's still a lot of shit. Don't get me wrong. But a second yellow card obviously means that a player gets sent off. So given that VAR can step in for red cards, if a player gets a direct red and it shouldn't be a red, it can get rescinded, it can get withdrawn. If VAR deem it to be the incorrect decision, they can tell the referee to go look at the screen and he can make his mind up, or she can make his mind up even. But 9 times out of 10, we both know that if they get recommended to go and review the screen, it's getting overturned. It's pretty much a given. So why not do it for the second yellow cards? Why not? Is this not a good thing? Because if a second yellow card gets introduced, your team is then down to 10 players. But if that yellow card is wrong, then yeah, why not? This is a good thing. And, you know, I suppose the question is, well, why is this not being kind of introduced years ago? Because this, to me, is a good rule change. Is a really good rule change because it stops players, whether it's a yellow card or a red card, unnecessarily and undeservedly getting sent from the field of play, which ultimately then means that they will have potentially a 1, 2 or a 3 game suspension, depending on obviously what the foul play is. So in my eyes, yeah, this is decent. This is a decent rule change, and provided, there is a big caveat with this, provided that it is done correctly and promptly. And I think that is where the worries in fans comes in with this, because the game is already stop-start enough as it is when VAR got introduced. There's instances where you can quite clearly see from watching a game on the TV that that's a red card, that's not a red card, that's offside, that's not offside. And listen, don't get me wrong, there are times when you need to get the lines out, or you need to have a look at replays from different angles to look at the severity of a tackle. But one that springs to mind last year, one of the worst ones was Tarkov's tackle on Alexis McAllister. That probably springs to mind because, you know, being a Liverpool fan, you think about stuff that happens to your club. You know, it's more ingrained than it is other teams. And this is not any bias. You know, you just, your memory kind of goes to those ones. But anyway, I'm rambling. That was a blatant red card. Everyone in the football world could see that was a red card, but he got given a yellow. And because he got given a yellow, nothing could get done about it. It was a joke, really. But here, does this not prove a flaw that potentially VAR should be able to be allowed to look at any cards, if this is the case? Because if you're going to look at red cards getting overturned, if you're going to look at potentially second yellow cards getting overturned, why not just do the whole hog and just say, look, serious foul play on the football field will be reviewed by VAR. Just keep it simple. Stop kind of cherry picking and introducing stuff, drip feed. Just allow VAR to call the game can carry on going. If it's a foul or there's something, and VAR can say, right, okay, we need to have a look at that and come back. So I think that needs a bit of work. But on the whole, as I was saying, as long as the yellow card thing, the second yellow card, gets done promptly and doesn't delay the game for minutes and minutes and minutes at a time like we've all seen, that is the worry. They're even looking at stuff around corners and basically if a contentious corner that's given leads to a goal. And again, it comes down to one thing for me with stuff like this. It's like, great, if it's going to get the right decision and it's going to make it fair across the board, cool. But you can't fuck around and take forever with it. It's got to be a case of, right, is the ball in or out? Should it have been a corner? Should it have been a goal kick? Make the decision snappy, quick, fast, and let's move on. If it works like that, cool, I'm all up for it. But the problem is, we all know with VAR, we've got no faith in it because it won't happen like that. And that is the frustration we have as fans. Now, on to the other change, which I'm struggling. And I think I've found something, albeit I've had to dig deep to find something. I was struggling to find a positive on why rebounds potentially could be ousted for penalties that are given during normal play. Because it seems madness to me, because, look, whilst I'm not condoning stuff like what I'm about to say, you think of like scenes, the drama, the theatre that we all love football for, that happens sometimes when a player misses a penalty but then someone scores, and there's the hysterics, and I'm thinking back to one, and this is not necessarily that someone scored off this, but remember Ruud van Nistelrooy missing the penalty against Arsenal and half the Arsenal team kind of like jumping over him. I don't condone that kind of behaviour, but it goes down in Premier League folklore as a moment in time. And by potentially just, what are the players going to do? Say, for instance, Erling Haaland steps up to take a penalty for Man City in the 57th minute. Where do all the other players go? Like, what do they do? Do they stand at the halfway line? Do they stand on the edge of the box? Like, what happens? Like, how does the game get restarted? I'm guessing the keeper just saves it, the whistle gets blown again, and the keeper just takes a dead ball, a goal kick. It's a really, really weird one, and I think, think of that emotion as a football fan, that what you want to see, and your keeper saves a penalty, or the team that you support is taking the penalty, and you've got the highs of getting the penalty, the lows of getting the penalty saved, but then the highs again of the rebound going in. It's like, you're on a roller coaster of a journey, and for that to get taken out of football just seems absolutely criminal to me. And as I said, I can only find one benefit to this, and the only benefit that I can see to this is because of players encroaching. And look at the fine lines nowadays with VAR on the offside. How literally, you can be the width of a cock hair offside. Will you then potentially have to bring that into play for encroachment? Players leaning in, players have like a toenail in the box, so therefore, you was encroaching there, so we can't give that retake the penalty. And that's the only reason I think could be why. Who knows? Let me know what you guys think. I don't know. In terms of these potential changes, I think the yellow card thing could be a good thing, because that could keep a player on the field and then stop them getting a suspension, which, if they don't deserve it, is quite right. The penalty one is a strange one for me, and if you guys have any thoughts about that, leave it in the comments below. But yeah, strange one. Don't know how I feel about that, but we'll see. It could be a good thing, and we could all be sat here in 12 months' time, potentially watching the World Cup and thinking, actually, it works pretty well. And, you know, I could be eating my words. But who knows? Let me know, guys. Let me know if you like the video by giving me a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you in a bit.